Hi, my name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional traveler. Today I'm going to show you how to adjust your backpack hip belt for maximum comfort so you can hike all those miles carrying whatever load you might be. Today I'm going to show you how to adjust and position your backpack hip belt right there for maximum comfort so you can hike along. But before I do that, if you wouldn't mind, just hit the subscribe button. That really helps me bring this information to you. And also, please leave a comment below. Let me know how I'm doing and give me some more ideas for what I can film for you. Thank you. So, here we are, backpack. This is my Arc'teryx backpack. It's ridiculously expensive. It has a very comfortable hip belt, but there's some things about positioning hip belts that are critical. The number one thing, let me make an adjustment, so you're just going to look at my waist for a while here, is the sizing of the belt and the thickness, okay? So on your body, the top of your hip, there's a bone. This is your pelvis right here. You can't really see it on me, but there's a place called the iliac crest, and that is the top of your hip. That ideally, that spot there rests in the middle of your belt. So on your backpack, if you have a hip strap, your iliac crest traditionally should be right in the middle. So what I do is I get my backpack shouldered up and I leave these loose. I leave everything loose here. And then I put my belt on and I'll clip it like that. And then I begin snugging it up. Now, if you put this belt too high, you'll not have a good time breathing. If, however, you put it too low, your backpack will start squishing on your shoulders. So you might pinch it down there, but the only thing that happens is this slowly wiggles down, and that's very annoying. Instead, you want to get your backpack right, the backpack hip belt right at the top of your iliac crest, okay? And what that does is that puts part of the pressure on your hip or pelvis bone, and then the rest kind of pushes into your waist. So if you have a bit of a muffin top, you might have a little bit of a struggle, but you can position the belt there. Now, what happens depending on the weight of your backpack is if your backpack is really heavy, this belt will start to rock back and it will push into your stomach, and then your stomach will bulge over like that, and you won't have a very good time. So if your backpack starts to really rock down, your hip is going like this, and you're having a miserable time, chances are that load is too big for your backpack, okay? All right, so as you can see here, this backpack has about 18 pounds worth of water in it. I've adjusted it here. I've put the hip belt roughly to where I find it comfortable. Now the next step is most technical backpacks have what are called stabilizer straps. Now you can see mine is completely loose. And what that does is when you pull this strap, what that does is that wraps the backpack around your body. So right now it's totally loose, and you pull on this and that actually wraps your backpack to your body. Now, when you're doing this and you put this strap on, usually you actually start with all of the straps loose, because if one's particularly tight and you adjust, oh, that's wrong, and you pull it and you try and mess around, I start with all my straps loose. That way I put on my backpack, I get my belt cinched up, get that weight on there, and then I will come and pull in my straps. And I don't go crazy, I don't wrench them, but I'll snug them up just a bit to stabilize the pack. Now, you'll notice, first, this is going to pull down my pants, but what I do is when I put my hip belt on and I click this first, my tightening technique is you go across your body. And across your body, you are much stronger pulling this direction and pulling this direction rather than using your triceps and your lats, which even though your tricep muscle is much stronger, that's all you're pulling with. It's really hard to do and it hurts your deltoid a bit. So you can pull, and I mean, that's as tight as I can get it, right? But watch, when I grab my pack here and I grab here, I can go, ugh, huge amount of compression, okay? So let me demonstrate that again. Instead of grabbing this and pulling on the same side and pulling on the same side, that doesn't work because those set of muscles pulling backwards aren't as strong as using your chest. Hopefully you're doing some push-ups and you can really crank that down if you've got a load, okay? So this technique of pulling is worthless. Do the cross-body technique, right, like that, and it's much more effective. So you can see I'm pulling my belt down again. Now, let's say you're wearing a backpack or a belt. You're not going to have a leather belt like this, but if you've got buckles and things, you're going to have to decide to get your pants way up there and then get that backpack belt there. And the reason for that is this belt will start to pinch in between your backpack belt, the belt, and your body. And over time, it will begin rubbing and you will be miserable. Now, one of the things about this is how much weight are you carrying? Look, in summer, my base pack weight hovers between 10 and 12 pounds, depending on how much camera gear I'm carrying. If you're carrying 25 pounds for an overnight backpack in the summer, you're killing yourself. You don't need a 500-pound pack. I'll do more videos about pack weight and everything later, but believe me, if you're having to get this crazy technical backpack for a 1 or 2 night thing, you're killing yourself. I was able to do an 80-mile backpack in the Golden Trout Wilderness with my ultralight Gregory Z pack, and my base weight was like 11 pounds, and then 3 pound and 3/4 of food per day. So all this, consider like, oh, I gotta pack this in, and you're going for 1 or 2 days, you're killing yourself, okay? So the next thing about this kind of looks awkward, obviously, and the next thing about adjusting this belt is sometimes, like on this Arc'teryx, the belt strap material is a bit slippery. It's annoying. I have tried to replace the buckles and everything, but it just slowly slips out. I don't know why, but it does. So the way I set my backpack up is I hike it a bit and lean my butt out and my chest forward and then snug it a bit just so I take the load off. Because if I don't do that and I get up here and I just try and snug this, I'm already starting at a low position and it's beginning, my pack is beginning to press on my shoulders. Now at outdoor stores, I've been told this time and time again, and I completely disagree. The pack should rest on your shoulder and totally shape to you. That drives me mad, okay? I don't like having that there at all. So, all right. Instead, what I do is I hike up my backpack, just kind of jock it up a little bit so the belt's roughly on my iliac crest. Oop, too tight. I made it too tight. It's fine-tuned because you don't want this pressing on your belly. If this is above or on your belly button, it's way too high and you're going to have trouble breathing and you're going to be miserable. So I hike this up, and I might get the stabilizer straps here going, and then I don't even have these tight at all. See, if you need stabilizer straps that are super cranking tight, your backpack doesn't fit you well. And then this is totally loose. There's a just barely like finger or two there. It's not pressured on me. I hate that. Every store, A16 REI, outdoor sports, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it should really be on there and carry 20% of your weight. I hate that. So if you want to suffer, carry your weight on your shoulders. Carry it on your hips if you want joy. So all I do is just throw out my chest a bit and just snug these down just enough so my backpack isn't way out there, but it's not crushing me and pulling my shoulders, because that is not comfortable, okay? So this waist belt adjustment is everything. My shoulder straps are there just to keep the pack from kicking off. I actually run pretty loose on these things, and that's why I've done this whole video, and it's all about the waist belt. Because if your backpack is too short or too tall and your straps are way the heck up here, you need to reposition them or get a different height backpack, because you're sold the wrong thing. So they shouldn't be up here. They shouldn't crush you down. Should just barely touch you. And this is 20 pounds, and I can haul this like all day because I've concentrated all of my time on getting my hip belt comfortable. Now, a couple other tips. If your hip belt is killing you, don't stuff socks in there unless you absolutely have to, because those socks will create a dent, and then it'll start adding more pressure and rubbing, and then you're going to get bloody raw, and you don't want to do that. So the key is, when you buy this backpack and you go into the store, if you think you're going to be doing like winter backpacking, this is one of my winter backpacks, I'll put 30 pounds in there. Ugh. Put it in there and do this, and don't walk for 5 seconds. Spend a good 15 plus minutes, in 20 minutes in the store, because you're going to shell out 100, 200, 550 freaking bucks on this backpack. You want to put that weight on and just walk around the store and walk and walk and walk, because like for me, people love Osprey packs. They just don't fit me well. Deuter, they don't fit me well. Gregory and Arc'teryx seem to fit me well. JanSports fits me well. It's just the way it is. So adjusting that belt is everything. You adjust that belt, and I can actually see that my pack, ever so slightly, just wiggles along. Now, you don't want it too wiggly, because it'll start chafing and tearing you up. Also, if you have to use the sternum strap, either you have a massive load or your backpack is too wide for your chest, okay? So if you have to use this sternum strap and your straps are way out here, get a smaller chested backpack or make some adjustments, because this is not called the sternum strap. This is called the anti-breathing choke me strap, because you'll take your backpack off and that'll happen, all right? So if you have to use the sternum strap, I'm telling you right now, that sucks. Don't do it. I don't even know why I leave this on here. It's more like for spare parts. I think I've had to use it once because I had an awkward load of stuff hanging off. It was kind of miserable, but I never use this sternum strap. So there you go. That is how to adjust your hip belt for everything on your pack. If your hip belt isn't working, the rest of your pack is miserable. I have had it where I carried an extra heavy load, wasn't experienced, had to jam jackets in there just to carry the load. It was awful, awful, awful. So if this doesn't work for you, or it chafes up and down, or it doesn't fit your hips, and even though, oh, my cousin told me that Osprey's the best and I should get it, if it doesn't fit your body, don't get it. It's okay, because this is a very personal fit. It's not like, oh, my personal truth. It's just, it has to fit you, and it has to fit well. Otherwise, you're going to have a miserable time. You're going to hate backpacking. You're going to hate the experience. You're not going to enjoy what you got going. But it's all about the hip belt. That hip belt fits, and just nice and loose, just barely touching your body. And the hip belt is everything to your backpack when you're carrying a load. My name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional traveler. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and also please support me on Venmo, PayPal, and Patreon. Thank you very much for watching.